Listen, let's get to it. Let's get to the team that I have waited 42 minutes to taunt you with, Terrence Oglesby. And for those listening on Sirius right now, I am wearing a Michael Jordan North Carolina shirt because the North Carolina Tar Heels are back, baby. Their defense is not back. It's here for the first time all year. They've guarded. They finally, their defense is here. They were great in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech in a huge game, and they beat a mediocre, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, Louisville team at home in Chapel Hill tonight. All right, they're not back, but they are 20-8. They are 12-5, albeit in a crappy ACC this year. And listen, Hubert just said tonight, I'm just going with my dudes. I'm going with my 5 guys. I'm going to play them all long minutes. Caleb Love played all 40, and it was balanced scoring among those 5, and they got nothing out of their bench. Like, I think they got 2 points out of their bench, and it came from, I don't even know who. Puff Johnson. I don't know. Puff Johnson.
Puff Johnson. 2 free throws. It wasn't even a field goal. He just hit 2 free throws.
I mean, listen, they finally got their quad win. So now they're feeling good. They're puffing out their chest like I am right now, and they're feeling good about themselves. And I don't know. I mean, listen, all I'll say is these 5 guys, if you said to another, listen, here's my example. If you said to Chris Holtman right now, or you guys, you pick talent, not all the intangibles. Do you want Carolina's starting 5, or do you want Ohio State starting 5? Terrence, who are you taking?
Oh, you're taking Carolina starting 5.
Nick?
There's just been so much transition there. I'll tell you who played really well tonight. Your fellow Midwest guy, Brady Manick. I mean, his ability, he's shown a lot of ability, man. He's knocking down threes, sure, but he's putting it on the floor a little bit. He's been a really nice addition. Obviously, they lose Dawson Garcia for the remainder of the season. They're shorthanded, and their young guys probably aren't ready yet. Puff Johnson's probably not ready. I would have expected Kerwin Walton to be a little bit more of a factor, but apparently he just doesn't guard well enough to stay on the floor. And he shot like 45% from 3 last year. Like for some reason, like I didn't play any defense, Nick, but I shot a good percentage from 3. They didn't have a choice, right? So I was curious.
You would have fit right in on this Carolina team.
Now I would have been sitting beside Kerwin, apparently.
Yes, you would have.
That would have been the issue. But this is a talented roster. They've got guys up and down. Like Armando Bacot, even though he had an off game because he was playing against a beast in Sidney Curry, who might be the strongest person I've seen since Trevor Booker. Goodness me, that dude is a beast. Bacot couldn't move him, which is a first in my book for this season. Right. But they just have that 5 guys is really talented. RJ Davis is coming along. He hits some big shots. It's just a matter of defensively, are they going to be able to compete? And I thought Louisville, it just seemed like they were ready to hand North Carolina the game so many times, and North Carolina just wouldn't take it. And eventually the great Carolina teams would just rip it out of people's hands and be like, hey, this game's going to get from 5 to 15 in a hurry. And I'm not sure this team has that capability.
I wish I could have been in the Dean Dome tonight to feel if is there nervous energy in there with the team? It feels like it a little bit, where every time there was a lot of moans and groans anytime Louisville would like T.O. said, felt like Louisville was trying to hand them the game. North Carolina wouldn't take it. Louisville would make a shot, a lot of moans and groans. But I think the thing that's interesting for me, and some of this is maybe, Dawson Garcia's away from the team. Right. They've been a little banged up. Is the identity of Carolina has been really, it was always tempo and offensive rebounding under Roy. Really, they kind of became synonymous with just kicking your ass on the
two bigs, two post bigs.
2 bigs killing you on the glass.
Yes.
You look right now, and again, I don't know if some of this is because of player availability. They're 129th in offensive rebound percentage. Let me just go over, these are the last 6 years where they ranked on offensive rebound percentage. 1st, 12th, 16th, 3rd, 1st, 3rd, 5th.
Wow.
So it's just a weird, I think it's Hubert Davis, because you would figure, he was on Roy's staff. You figured it'd be kind of like a part of the reason you want to keep him on is like you keep the seamless transition of the identity and the machine in place. But the offensive rebounding factor hasn't been there. And so it puts a lot of pressure on your defense, which they haven't been overly disruptive in terms of forcing turnovers. Their defense has been better the last couple of games, like you pointed out, Jeff. Yep. But it's an interesting team to watch when you juxtapose it with what they've looked like over the last handful of years with Roy, considering the fact that it's, Roy's top guy now running the show in Hubert Davis.
That was one of the things I was most worried about whenever they brought Brady Manick and Dawson Garcia in, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to open up the floor. You completely understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to open up the floor for RJ Davis and Caleb Love by bringing shooters in, but then you're taking away your best strength to try to fill the hole of your biggest weakness.
Right.
And what happens is they haven't been able to rely on, hey, sometimes our offense isn't working. This Carolina break isn't working. We can still overwhelm you. This Carolina team doesn't overwhelm you. And that's where the struggles have come from.
So Saturday at NC State, like this is, if NC State, think about this, they're horrible right now, right? They're 11-16.
Yeah.
But if you're an NC State fan, you're saying to yourself, if we can knock Carolina out of the NCAA tournament, you know what? This year, I'll sign up for it. I'll sign up right now. I'm okay if we suck. As long as they don't make the tournament, I feel pretty good. That is their Super Bowl on Saturday in Raleigh. It's going to be an absolute war. And I think it's going to show how tough Carolina is mentally. Have they gotten tougher? Again, they've been better defensively. We've seen it the last two games, but it's up here for them. Mentally tough. We saw it at Mohegan Sun earlier this year. Listen, I called them out and said they're soft.
Yeah.
And they proved me right for most of the year. They have been soft, both mentally and physically. But I think they have an opportunity here again. The bubble is so bad that if they win these last couple of games at NC State, Monday against Syracuse at home, then you're playing with house money to me at Duke. Your numbers are going to go up anyway. You don't need to win that game. Just don't get blown out in that game. If you win these other two and then win a game in the ACC tournament, you're absolutely in the field at the end of the day. Is that a year, if they get in and they sneak in and Hubert Davis has an NCAA tournament berth next to his name,
yep,
does that give him, Nick, a little bit of a cushion if he doesn't make the tournament like next year?
Yes. I'd say, Carolina is different from a lot of programs, and they don't just expect to make the tournament; they expect to be there in the Final Four more often than not. I also think, it's just like anything else. Like when you have one of the all-time great coaches on your sidelines, you get spoiled, where you think it's just a given. And listen, John Calipari's had years. They lost to Robert Morris in the NIT. It's not, unless basically if you're not named Bill Self, like it's not just a given for a lot of these. Look at Indiana, like they've had to learn the hard way a little bit that it's not necessarily just a given because the name on the front of your jersey that you are going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. But to answer your question, yes, I think just being able to have a tournament berth under your belt calls up, gives you a little breathing room. So yeah, I think it makes a difference, but I also think they've been spoiled with old Roy on the sideline there for quite some time.
All right, Field of 68 after dark. When we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about the player that we trust the most, each of us, come March.